Okay, hello, welcome everybody. Let me do a quick macro recap or macro view of what I'm expecting for gold and for GBPJPY. So this is going to be a macro view. We're going to go to the monthly, and we can see on the gold we have just a huge push for the last 3 months, and we're in the middle of a bullish impulse. We're about to hit the all-time high. All-time high is around 2430, 2430. We can see the closure of the daily candle, of the weekly candle, big body above the previous resistance zone. So we do have a nice structure to continue looking for buys. On the daily closure, we also have a huge body at the top of the structure, almost at all-time high. And we don't have any wick yet. So this is the Asian Open. I'm recording this at 7:03 p.m. Sunday, May 19th, 2024. So obviously we should be, I will be looking for buys. It's just still a bullish structure. Now, most likely we get a wick or a retracement to get better pricing. Even if we want to break above all of this, even the all-time high, we still, I consider that we still have space here to get a retracement down to 2,300 and 400 around there, or this OB here on the daily. Actually, if I open my drawings, you're gonna notice that I already have marked what I call my execution zones. In this case, it's gonna be a buy zone. So this is gonna be a here. This is gonna be a buy zone 1. Actually, buy zone 1, buy zone 2, 3, and 4. Green is 4-hour structure. Red is daily. Blue is 1 hour and below. What that means is better quality buys around here, around 2,400, and between 2,395 and 2,400 is a better zone to buy. Or if this doesn't hold, then I would be looking for buys around 2,385, 2,375, right? So if I open my charts, I'm gonna be coming to trade around here, New York. If I open my charts and we are down below here, that's what I mean. I will be looking for buys around here. If I don't see anything that makes sense, wait for price to let me know, right? Like if I'm at a zone of execution zone and I don't see price reacting, I don't react. Like I only execute if I see reactions. I don't try to predict, right? I have an expectancy, but I try to go with the probabilities, right? Like if I see price down here, like maybe by Thursday or Wednesday, which is what I would expect, if price wants to retrace, maybe wants to come down here around these days, then maybe I would look for buys around these areas, right? Always look at the time of your trading if there's gonna be any news release. Just keep that in mind. Whenever there's news release, gold tends to go to the 4-hour structures, lows, for example, or 4-hour OBs. And in this case, if we're above here when we have New York Open and for some reason we have news, you could literally get gold to come grab some liquidity, like from down here, even to continue going up. Okay, so at this hourly closure, we have a nice body above the resistance, so we still have this place actually to go up. If you were trading for Asian session, this actually doesn't look so bad to go for buys. Here, see here, this zone here, we have a structure here and execution zone and this maybe forms like a support here for the session, for the Asian session, to maybe go up. If you trade Asian session, maybe you could aim for a retest of the previous day high around here, or even almost at the wick. There's a key level here, a psychological level. So this could actually be a good trade if you're trading, like I said, Asian session. Right now is bias. Main bias obviously is just bias. Okay, I wouldn't advise to go for sales. I would advise, especially for anybody learning, just wait for price to come to an execution zone, and if it forms a good resistance here, then you create like a new execution zone, so you could actually maybe go for this one and then retest and just execute, right? But right now the execution zone is down here, and that's about it. Look for buys. That's my macro view on gold. Wait for retracements, especially 4 hour. We only have been pushing up, so maybe wait for the 1 hour structure to retest here, or form a good support here to buy from here if you're trading Asian session. By the time I open charts at 7:30 a.m. Tomorrow, if I see price around here, that would be perfect for me to look for buys, or if I see price down here, right? That's all I'm gonna do. I only execute at my zones. So for GJ, macro view, go to monthly, also quite bullish. Just printing bullish candle after bullish candle on the monthly. We have already 5 months going up, and I mean, counting this one, we had the weekly closure was really bullish too. Nice body, almost at the resistance from body closures. We do have a lot of space for the wick all the way to 200. Right now we are at 197.8 at the moment of recording. We are at a resistance on the daily. I go to the 4 hour, same thing, right? Look, huge resistance on body closures, but a huge wick here. So pretty much the same for gold, the same as gold, right? We have a lot of push, so we do have a lot of space to retrace and potentially grab better buys. At this point, we do have a nice closure on the 1 hour, really nice closure. Most likely, maybe this pushes all the way. This is a good formation for reversals on the 1 hour. The only thing that makes me believe that maybe this doesn't hold is that this candle, the wick, didn't grab liquidity all the way up, and this is not at a key level, so we do have a lot of space to go all the way up here. So maybe this is you see, this is a big, huge sell zone, but maybe from this body closure, maybe you do have a good buy opportunity, like not only to this resistance but also here to the retest of the key level before you actually get into contact with the sell zone. If I were trading Asian session, maybe this would have been a good opportunity just because of the closure. Already actually tapped into buy zone 1, so that's also good. You would be getting into the sell zone, which is a huge one. I would actually say that I would feel even more attracted, like if I see a body closure above here and it eats this candle's wick, and you could actually go for a scalp from here to here if you know how to grab scalps on the 5 minute, 1 minute, or even a breakout trade for that matter, because this is quite bullish still. Now reversals, this is still not, this hasn't been invalidated, but it's a weak one. Like if this wick would have been bigger, then it's a more strong, like a stronger reversal. But since we're already tapped into buy zone 1 and we had a nice closure, most likely maybe this has enough strength to break this. I'm not interested to execute now on Asian session because I will not have the time to manage anything, and there's no space here for swing trades, right? Like if I were looking for swing trades, I would only be looking to buy from here, from the green zone for our OB, or red zone daily. Up here, this is resistance, so for me there's nothing to do here on the higher time frame. So if I enter here, I would have to sit here in the computer and stay to manage whatever. So not necessarily what I'm expecting now. But on the higher time frame, buys, easy buys. Just better if you wait for buy zone 1, 2, or 3 to be retapped. At what moment would I stop looking to buy? Well, obviously, if we break and close below 196.5. But not only close, but also if I see like a strong formation of reversal here, and then we close below here, then it would make sense for me to maybe expect price to still retrace all the way down to here to 192.700 or 192 flat. But I would have to see that by the time I wake up, right? We're opening the week right now, still a strong bullish structure. And if I see, or if you see that for some reason this closes strong above here, there's a nice opportunity to scalp all the way from here to here. And who knows if maybe Asian session in London, if for whatever reason, so there's a nice setup now that I see. I'm looking at it. Actually, I didn't say this on the Spanish version. If for whatever reason you see that by the 22nd hour here, you see a body closure strong one around here on the 1 hour, there's a high likelihood that if we have a body closure here before London open, that London is gonna come down here, grab liquidity from this same area, and maybe push higher with London, and maybe like cross, like start escalating around here for New York. So there's a possibility for that to happen, because right now everything looks really bullish. But if you don't see this breaking now, if you see a rejection from here, it would have to respect this here. If you see price breaking, I'm gonna mark it right here. If for whatever reason, you know what? Let me mark it like here. If for whatever reason price breaks this little yellow thingy here, line, if you see price breaking above 197.85, there is a really high likelihood that price could get all the way up to 198 zone here, around 197.900, 198 by London volume. Okay, between Asian session and London volume. If it doesn't respect this price, specifically this price here, right, 197.85. If it respects this and creates another rejection, actually this could be a good, potentially it could form a nice sell counter trend. I would not recommend that for anybody that is new. I would actually tell you just wait for price to retrace to a buy zone, whatever, however you call them. Like for me, for example, I wouldn't it wouldn't matter for me that it breaks right here. I definitely know how to scalp this from here to here. So maybe, I don't know, maybe I look for it later, but I'm not expecting that. I would come for New York here, around here, 730. If I see price at my buy zone 1 or buy zone 2, most likely if New York is still here, is because maybe it wants to come to buy zone 2 to grab the liquidity to keep pushing for the rest of the week. But for that, it has to first break above this, reject all the way down to here, and maybe I look for buys. If it respects this wick here, creates a rejection, comes here, then I would maybe actually expect the price drops even further down and maybe grab buys from here. This is a nice zone to buy, to look for buys. I don't try to predict, I try to only react. If price is at a buy zone and it's reacting, then I go for it. If it isn't, then I don't do anything. So like I said, closure above this means that most likely we get an extra push here for New York, for Asian and London. Anyway, so if you like this overview, Remember to give it a like and subscribe. Remember, GJ still macro buys, gold too. Just wait for retracements, price to get to a nice zone of execution, and then you can go for it. In the Spanish version, I actually said that the closure of the 1 hour, if it would have closed a little bit higher, then it meant it was potentially a good buy, which is already happening. But like I said, it's even better if we have a closure here and we can grab like a scalp from here to here, even better. And yeah, remember, give it a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. This was Joel Medina.